Hello and welcome back to Purpose by Design. I am Dr. Pamela Hinkle. I'm so glad that you're here because, as always, we have a phenomenal guest and we are going to have an awesome time, awesome conversation. And I hope you have your paper and your pen because I know this woman and she is going to be dropping some nuggets and you're going to want to write them down for sure. So if you see me looking down, that's because I am busy writing and capturing all this greatness. So before we jump in, I want to remind everybody right now, stop, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, share. You know somebody right now that could utilize this message, this broadcast, this teaching, this interview. So like it and share it, as my mentor, Les Brown, says. I am so excited to have with me today in virtual studio my sweet sister, who I have met through our coach, the wonderful John Tallarico, Dr. John Tallarico. Woo, John. We have Miss Shelia here. Shelia, welcome to the Purpose by Design platform. Yeah.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here today. So please tell everybody here, who are you?
Well, thank you, Dr. Pamela, for the invite. It is truly an honor to be here. I am Shelia Eggleston. I am first and foremost a child of God. I've been married for 31 years. I have a son and a daughter. My son is 28 and daughter 29. Didn't plan it that way, 13 and a half months apart, but they are a blessing. When the doctor said I couldn't have any, so God said yes, and they are my miracle babies. But Shelia, as a businesswoman, I'm the only CEO. Actually, most people become entrepreneurs because it's a desire, it's a choice. I'm the one that was forced into entrepreneurship. I actually was working in telecommunications as a marketing product development manager. I'm about to date myself. My product was VoIP, voice over IP. Now that's just a regular thing here. And so the company, I absolutely loved it, but the market imploded. And as a result, we all lost our jobs. And I was like, what am I going to do? I couldn't find another job in the telecommunications industry. That's when they called the .com industry, AOL. Again, I'm really dating myself. Everything just kind of imploded. So my dad said, hey, you know what? Why don't you get into real estate? And that's how I became an entrepreneur. By force, I had to take care of my family. We were building a brand new home in the midst of all of this. And so for me, becoming an entrepreneur was by design. At the time, I didn't feel it was by design, but it was truly by design by God, because I never turned back. Once I became an entrepreneur full time, I've been an entrepreneur for over 21 years now. And I've never looked back. Full time, all in. There is a glamorous side to entrepreneurship, but I've enjoyed the journey. And as a result, about 5 years ago, people were coming to me, other entrepreneurs, and asking me, how did you do it? You've been doing this full time, and how are you doing this? And what I felt led to do was I just had this I guess you call it what's the word I'm looking for? A passion to champion for the entrepreneur, to be a game changer. And the game changer was to help entrepreneurs to not fall into the traps that I did, the financial ones and otherwise. and share what I've been through and helping them to not go through that. And I started off with business life skills because as entrepreneurs, we still need life skills in business. We have life skills in regular life, but we need business life skills. So I started off a course with business life skills, and that went really well. Partnered with some influencers and shared that course for them, and it went really, really well. So from there, kind of the journey was to become a mentor. I'm a football fan, love football. So I always say, um, for me, I am that person who I don't want to just give you the play and say, okay, here it is, go out on the field and make it happen. I want to be that person who is going to look in you and see the best in you and bring that out of you. What can I do to support you to bring that out? One of my spiritual gifts is the gift of exhortation. And so I'm a big encourager. And so this was kind of a natural path for me. And to unleash who you really are, and unleash your business, unleash yourself. So now bringing this all together, the Unleashed CEO helps you to, I'm working with entrepreneurs to help them develop functional and creative strategies so they can reach and achieve their goals, as well as improve revenue. And also I incorporated the personal development side. I'm going to say moms. We as moms, and women, oftentimes we put ourselves kind of on the back burner last. We put everybody ahead of us. Then when we get to a stage where we are entrepreneurs, we oftentimes, the business is our baby, right? And now we put the business ahead of our own personal, goals, our personal development, things like that. So as a result of that, I now incorporated in personal development as a part of that so that we can become that higher version that God has designed and called us to be. And we can attract the things that we really want, need, and desire. So pulling that all together is now the Unleashed CEO Mastermind, Mentorship Mastermind. And I am so excited. It's launching this month. I'm very, very excited about it. My mentees are really excited about it because it gives them something to not only help build and create those strategies to build the business, but also it's working on us as individuals because we need to be ready for what's coming down the road. We need to be ready and for the blessings that are coming our way. So I'm really excited about that.
What is your launch date?
So my launch date is May 10th.
May
10th.
10th.
And so it is open enrollment. So I have some people that are coming in June. They're finishing up some other things with me, and they're coming in June. So it's an ongoing open enrollment. And I'm a big fan of collaboration. That is the new competition. If we would just learn to collaborate together, even when we're doing similar roles, we can still collaborate because you're you, Dr. Pamela. You have the gifts that God is giving you to be successful in your arena. And as well, God has given me gifts for me to be successful. And there's plenty of business around and we can help and support one another. So to bring the personal development component to it, I became a certified Living the Legacy mentor. And Living the Legacy is a program that Bob Proctor, his last program, we miss Bob, his last program. And so I'm working with the Living the Legacy, and I'm now a certified mentor. And John Tallarico is my mentor. I love John. So to bring that to the table to my clients, I needed to go through the training, and it has helped me immensely just as an individual. And now I can now bring that to my clients and help them to, to grow and become that higher version of themselves that God designed and created them to be.
Wow. Man, you have unpacked a lot of stuff here. And whew, you are a powerful woman and you bring a lot to the table. Can I ask you a few questions based on things that you've said? Because you've said some amazing things that I'd like to circle back to. Is that okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I just want to give credit again to Mr. Tallarico, Dr. John Tallarico at the Million in You community.
Yes.
We make sure we mention the Million in You because we are both products of that product.
Yes, we are.
And we encourage you to go look up John Tallarico or the
Yes.
Million in You, and that's going to be in the description if you are needing to know how do I do that. You can find that below. But okay, Sheila, wow, living the legacy. I was thinking about that as you said, we miss Bob. I went, of course we do, of course, right? But
Right.
you know what? His legacy is living on just through what you and I are doing right now.
Yes.
Like here we are, products of that product, right? But now we are passing, that baton's been passed to us and we are
Mhm.
running with it. And so that's what I see you doing. Like you went through this living the legacy, but you have so many other things that you carry with you. I mean, you are a powerhouse woman. And now we are living the legacy. I love that name. We often hear leaving a legacy. I like the idea of we're living it,
Yes.
right? We're
Yes.
living it. That is powerful. All right. So I want to ask you a question. The first one I want to ask is about the life skills, the business life skills. Now,
Yes.
I find that fascinating that you even have brought that into the collaboration of what you're teaching,
Mhm.
because you don't always hear about that. And so, with the fact that you are a mentor now and that you are unleashing your Unleashed program,
Yeah.
can you give a little information to those watching and listening that are saying, what is
Mhm.
a business life skill?
Absolutely. So, business life skills is a course, and we talk about or I'm teaching and helping my clients with strategic thinking and planning skills, um, financial skill sets,
Mhm.
oftentimes, and I'll give an example. Being an entrepreneur, oftentimes we try to live out of one bucket of money. When the money comes in, we're trying to live out of that whole bucket of money. And what I found for myself was when I began to separate out, pay myself, this is for the business, and really separate it out, I found that I didn't run out of money before I ran out of month. I
Wow.
was running out of money before I ran out of the month, because I was trying to live out of everything versus really looking at it as I'm building a company.
Mhm.
There's just a different ring when you say I have a business versus a company. So business, financial life skills, leadership skills, time management and organizational skills. And people may say, oh, time management, or yeah, I know I need to do that. Well, we know we need to do it, and then there's doing it and
Right.
understanding how to implement that, because oftentimes we get caught up in busy work. And then busy work doesn't necessarily equate to productivity. Then there's sales skills, and then branding and marketing and networking. With
Go
I
ahead.
think
Go
I
ahead.
think with the networking kind of goes hand in hand with the collaboration, because you may do exactly what I do, but you have a different skill set that I need, and we can help one another because there are billions of people here on this planet. And, COVID has opened us now to the virtual world, if you will. So
Yes.
now, our reach is far greater. And so I may need, Dr. Pamela, you may be very good at social media. And I may be very good at administration. And we're both doing the same thing. But we can support one another and leverage each other's gifts, leverage each other's skill sets so that I can help you advance in your business, and you can help me advance in my business.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much for unpacking that a little bit more for us, because I know people are wondering, what are life skills
Hmm.
for business? I love the idea of strategic thinking. That just, that's amazing right there. And not having your money just all pooled in one spot, but
Hmm.
having set places where it goes so that you can see the
Yes.
whole picture. And what I really want to drive home about the fact that you're teaching this, or that you had a course surrounding this and now taking you into your mastermind, is this: you were not somebody that said, I'm going to have my own business. You were
Hmm.
satisfied working for the
Yes.
company that you worked for. You
Hmm.
were thrown into being an entrepreneur, and a
Yes.
successful one, but you did not become successful without learning these life skills.
Yes.
You didn't go to school where they said, okay, here's the life skills. Okay.
Hmm.
You were learning them as you go, and
Yes.
learning maybe from mentors here and there, but you
Hmm.
picked all this up and figured it out because you were thrust into entrepreneurship
Yes.
and had children, had a
Hmm.
family, and you
Yes.
needed to make it work. So learning at your need about whether it's life skills or anything else that you are going to be teaching through your mastermind for entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
in my opinion, is about as fresh as it can come, because you're not regurgitating what you read in a book.
Yes.
You are teaching from your soul, from your heart, all of
Hmm.
it. So as I'm writing down these life skills of strategic thinking, the pool of money, business versus company, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming that you walked through all of these.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I walked through the fire. Absolutely.
Right. And now you can help others
Yes.
avoid that fire, because there's enough fires we all got to
Yes.
walk through. But you are teaching out of the depth of which you have experienced.
Absolutely.
That is so powerful. Thank you for going back to that part of the interview and
Hmm.
circling back to that, because I felt like that was really important. Life skills in life are super important. So why wouldn't they
Yes.
be in business? You also talked about, I'm looking at my notes here, that part of your mentorship program, I loved this, you said, is not to forget who you are.
Hmm. Yes.
That's a powerful statement, because when we're in business,
Hmm.
we can be, I'm the CEO, I'm the sale,
Right.
we can be the job. And you are saying, don't forget the essence of who you are. Who is Pamela? Who
Yes.
is Sheila? And that I circled that so that we could come back to it. Can you share a little bit about what that means and how you were involving that in your mentorship program?
Yes. That too comes from my own personal experience. And just being a woman and a mom and a wife and all those things. And, when you have a heart to help and want to see everyone succeed, one of my mentors in my life, a spiritual mentor, she always says, my greatest desire is your success.
Mm,
And so, with that said, oftentimes we put ourselves on the back burner, or we come last.
yes.
And then that happens when we go into a business. When we go into business, um, oftentimes that happens because the business now becomes our baby, and we're working on making that successful. But really and truly, sometimes our success doesn't come because we're not ready, because we haven't prepared ourselves personally to receive, um, or to lead, pardon me, to really prepare ourselves to be that leader, prepared ourselves. One of the questions that is, asked when you're, going into, like, personal development, we'll say, oh, I want to make $1 million. Well, the next step becomes, what are you going to do with it?
Yes.
And sometimes like a pause, like, and I don't mean just spend it. What are you going to do with it?
Hmm.
And oftentimes we don't think about those things. And when we think about that goes back to that bucket of money. You know, when the real estate market was booming, it was easy to, make $50,000, $60,000 a month in real estate. It was easy.
Sure.
Um, but at that time, I didn't understand that I'm trying to live out of all of this money, and living out of all of this money was not good stewardship. And yeah, okay, I paid my tithes, but I still didn't steward over it because I didn't understand how to. I didn't have the skill sets as a business owner, and I got to a point I had to be really elementary with it, to the point I went and opened up different bank accounts so I could physically take the money and put it into that bank account. And this is for household. This is for business. This is my savings. This is, what I'm saying. This is what I pay myself. And I had to be that elementary for myself. And it was one of the best things I could have done because it really helped me track my spending, and see how to manage and be a better steward over the financial blessings that God had given me. That was a tremendous financial season in my life with real estate. And so I actually, my broker laughed because they call me the spreadsheet queen. So I put everything in a spreadsheet. And so when I still do real estate, so when commissions are coming from that, I plug it in to my spreadsheet and it tells me how much money should go here, how much money should go there. And I still do that to this day, down to retirement.
Wow. Wow. That's gold right there, what you just shared with us. Thank you.
Mhm.
That is absolute gold. And I wrote down the word and underlined it, stewardship.
Yes.
Powerful, because as that money is coming into the business, where are you putting it? As you are putting all this time into the business,
Yes.
how are you using it? And not
Mhm.
to forget about yourself so that you can be the best businessman, woman, entrepreneur, leader,
Yes.
mentor, real estate agent, whatever that you were
Mhm.
supposed to be. I loved that. I loved how you talked about the business becoming your baby. And, I immediately had the visual of being the parent of a new child and,
Mhm.
every 4 hours,
Yes.
right? And then there was always, unending diaper changing and then the crying and, uh,
Yes.
and then I remember when my kids were that little and an older, more knowledgeable mother said to me, Pamela, sleep when they sleep. And that was
Yes.
a shocker to me, but
Yes.
it was but oh my gosh, answer to prayer, right? Because when the baby is your baby, but you still think
Mhm.
you have to take care of everything else.
Yes.
Baby is your baby, but you still have this and this and this and this and all these responsibilities on you. I wasn't sleeping. I was trying
Mhm.
to still sleep at 10 o'clock at night, right?
Yes. Mhm.
So what I hear you saying is just like unearthing a bunch of wrong thinkings, wrong paradigms that people have, like that woman saying to me, sleep when the baby sleeps. Like,
Mhm.
brilliant, like
Right.
and relating that now to work and to business
Mhm.
at home when the baby was sleeping, if there was another child there, it was video time, right? It was time for the video or whatever while I took a nap. It was time for paper plates. Come on, can I get an amen?
Oh,
Right? And
mine were
and not
13 and a half months apart.
see,
So
I
that was
get it.
like twins.
I understand. I have ones that are that close as well. So I
Mhm.
get it. And so it was time for those paper plates. It was time to crack a can instead
Yes.
of maybe making a big meal and to not feel guilty about doing
Yes.
that, but know that when we are doing that, it's benefiting us, which is going to make us better at being whoever, whatever hat we need to
Yeah.
wear. So taking that
Mhm.
into business, you are showing people how to make sure that they're doing those proverbial things, maybe not literally cracking a can or getting out
Right.
paper plates, but you are showing them those
Right.
steps so they don't burn out.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you that I'm
Mhm.
sure that you address in some form in your program and your mentorship. But I've been in ministry for over 25, going on 30 years now. Now, I'm no longer pastoring, but I'm still in ministry. But I work with pastors, and one of the things that we do, that we talk about very strong is the burnout. There's like over 1,000, between 1,000 and 1,500 pastors that
Mhm.
leave their pastorship in a year. That's a lot of people leaving.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's up to that in a month, depends on which facts you're going to listen to, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I know that's not just in ministry. I know that entrepreneurship is very much the same as being that minister or that shepherd,
Yes.
hovering over that and being leadership
Mhm.
is part of what you're teaching in that Unleashed, how to not burn out, what to do
Yeah.
so that you don't burn out.
Yes.
What do you have to say about burnout? Because I know that there's businesses that are just, people are folding
Mhm.
all the time.
Right.
Because entrepreneurship, it's not just come and punch a clock and then go home.
Yes.
The buck stops with you. So
Right.
what do you have to say about that subject?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, burnout is a real thing. And again, there is a glamorous side to entrepreneurship. No matter what it looks like on these different social media sites, but there is a glamorous side. Identifying your strengths, identifying your weaknesses, and in our mastermind, and identifying that, we're going to be able to help one another to mastermind together, so that, again, because oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we may not have the financial resources at this time to build a team, but we can be a team and support one another,
Yes.
you know? Um, and look, so one of the things we'll do initially is to kind of look at and break down the business into, 4 different sections. And, let's talk, because you're working all 4 of them. But what truly is your, what's your gift? What area of your business do you do well in? And
Mhm.
then learn how to delegate, or how to bring in someone else to help. You may be a blessing to their business, and they could be a blessing. Again, I'm a big proponent for that, and that builds relationships. um, One of my former pastors used to say, it's all about relationships or it ain't about nothing, and that's really true. So the relationship, so helping to know that you have someone who is going to mentor you, who's going to walk through it with you, help you to not burn out like I did. I mean, yeah, burnout is real.
Yeah.
And especially when you're trying to reach your goals. And oftentimes our focus is financial. I mean, we're all in business to make money.
Yeah.
But sometimes if we kind of take a step back and look at our goals, there's some other goals that if we focus on those, the money will come. The money will come.
Oh,
But
wow.
we're
Say
so
that
focused
again,
on the
Sheila.
goal, on the financial, but other thing, the money will come.
Okay.
Um,
Now that is a drop the mic moment. Can
mhm.
you go back to that, circle back to it a little bit
Yes,
about that? If we're focusing on the right thing, or the
yes,
right goals, the money will come. That's powerful.
yes,
People need to hear about that.
absolutely. So, okay, and that goes really for me, personal development, becoming that higher version, so that how to respond differently. Um, you learn to prepare differently, and put yourself in a posture of being proactive versus reactive. Um, and know your strengths. Know your strengths, and surround yourself with people who will hold you accountable, not only cheer for you, but will also hold you accountable.
Yes.
And those things, when we start putting those things and components into place, oftentimes things start coming together. They start coming together before we really realize it. But we're so focused on, and I get it. Believe me, I get it. Having two kids in college at the same time was $103,000 a year, and we got about 30% in student the financial aid. That's all. I
That's
had to
all.
sell a house to everybody I knew, and then some. Because my kids are 13 and a half months apart. So that was literally having twins in college. And so, for me, it was like, oh, I got to sell a house. I got to sell a house. But when I wasn't selling a house, I wasn't working on my business. And you're not going to sell a house in real estate, every day or even every month sometimes. But I had to learn, what do I do to work on my business? Because I'm all in it. But what am I doing to work on my business? Because there's ebbs and flows in all industries. And
Yeah.
so on those times when it's, a little slow, what am I doing so that I am prepared for the next wave, for the next, wave to come, so I can ride it. So yes, so during those the times where it's the ebbs and flows, and we're working on not only the business but working on ourselves. And in working on ourselves, we're preparing ourselves to be ready for that next season in our life. Or and in business, a good example, and this, it can be real estate or any business. Are we going back and touching our customers?
Nice.
Oftentimes we're not, especially if you have a business where it's a one-time sale, or a sale every couple of years or something, that there's a long pause, if you will. But you can still touch that customer, and customers want to hear from you. They want to know that they have value to you, especially after you've sold them a product or you've provided a service, and they don't hear from you. They just feel like, well, they got my money and I paid for the service. The service is great, but I didn't hear from them anymore. I still, to this day, I actually set up a CRM, my customer resource management system, and my customers get touched. And it took me a minute to do it, to put my spreadsheet and everything together, but it's worth the weight in gold, because I've been a realtor for almost 21 years, and all of my customers receive something from me at least once a quarter. And I have it set up. I might be telling a secret that they think it's me, but I have it set up with an email drip campaign, things like that, so that, and I'll ask for, do you have anyone, that's looking for a house? That's on my real estate side. And then on the mentoring side, I reach out to my clients there as well and check on them and see how they're doing. And I'm not always calling to say, here's what I have to offer. I'm calling to check on you. What can I do to assist you? I want to bring value to your life.
Yes.
And so those are things that we can think about, and that brings on client retention, but it also gives an opportunity for people when someone says, hey, you know what, I'm just starting this business and I really don't understand what to do. Oh, you know what, my realtor now, she's a business coach, she's a mentor, and I've gotten referrals from my real estate clients just from being connected.
Well, that brings us back to the next question that I had for you, and that was collaboration. Before I ask you that question, I just want to highlight the things that you have said here, that when we're in a place where we feel like there is that lull, instead of looking at it as, oh, there's nothing happening, turning that around in your head and
Mhm.
thinking about it differently, that no, this is the time you prepare for your next,
Yes.
instead of, whoa, what am I? No, now
Yes.
this is where we invest in self to a
Mhm.
in a greater way, because you have the
Right.
ability and time to do it. And you've thrown out such amazing nuggets, whether that was, you know, spending that actual moment, reading something, listening to something that you might not have had time to do, attending a
Mhm.
meeting, but also you gave great tips about
Yeah.
reaching back out to your
Mhm.
clients, reaching out to your customers, how whatever it is that you're doing. Don't have idle time where you just sit and worry. Use the time productively,
Mhm.
because as you
Yes.
said, it's that those moments that are building you for what's coming next. And so I love how you pointed all of that out.
Mhm.
You also did, you've been touching multiple times on collaboration, but what a great example that you just gave us.
Mhm.
You had said at the beginning that collaboration was the new competition, but you
Mhm.
also just shared something so dynamic, and I want to make sure that everybody heard it. And this is what you said. You were reaching out and touching your clients, reaching out, talking to them, emails, phone calls, messages, however you're doing
Yes.
it. They're feeling the love. They're
Yes.
feeling value.
Mhm.
You're giving
Yes.
value to them. And now they're sending people to you, not even necessarily to be their agent, but to
Right.
mentor them and
Mhm.
coach them. This
Yes.
is the power of collaboration. And it is the power of collaboration that comes through relationships, right? So,
Yes.
can you take that, what we just stated, what you just shared, what I just recapped, and give us a little something, something about the power of collaboration?
So the power of collaboration gives you the opportunity to leverage other people's skill sets, other people's audiences, other people's knowledge
Yes.
that otherwise you may have to, either forego and not have it, or you know what, I can't afford to do that. But when you collaborate, you're now tapping into other resources and you're leveraging your relationships to do that.
Absolutely. And that's why a mastermind is so important and
Yes.
powerful, like
Hmm.
what you are launching. There is going to be a lot of collaboration
Yes.
in there.
Yes.
So, as we get ready to wind down and we're
Hmm.
talking about collaboration, what is your heart for the collaboration that is going to be transpiring in Unleash? How do you see that, coming alive?
So, first of all, I've been in prayer for God to bring the right people together because it has to be a safe space, if you will, for you to ask the questions that may say, you know what, that's just may not sound right, but complicated. But let me just say it: are people who have a heart to
Yes,
see you succeed,
yes,
even when I'm not succeeding, but will have a heart and and be happy for you that you're succeeding. Um, the the collaboration, heart, mind, spirit, those things have to come together. And so, before I launched, the Holy Spirit is my CEO. So I spoke to my CEO and, and asked him to send the right people so that we can be a blessing to one another. And I want to see everyone benefit. I want to see the success from where you started and where you are today, you know, um, and that, God gets the glory out of everything that I do.
wow, that is so beautiful, Sheila. I feel that like so deeply. I
Thank you.
can just see people, they're going this direction, and then they hear about your program and like them making U-turns and coming to just being
Mhm.
directed. right into your mastermind group. And mastermind just means a bunch of people coming together
Yes.
to utilize their gifts, their minds
Yes.
to help each other master what it is that we're doing in life.
Mhm.
And in this aspect, that's going to be entrepreneurship. But this
Yes.
is not just going to be your atypical little, mentor, let me tell you
Yes.
how to make $1 million.
Absolutely.
There's going to be so many fundamentals in there for the whole person, because
Yeah.
you have been there. Oh my gosh, you have been there. You
Mhm.
were building business while you had babies that were basically twins.
Mm. Ooh, yes.
Ooh,
And look,
girl.
at over 30 doing it. Just having babies over 30 is a whole different
It is. It is. It absolutely is. You were so
Mhm.
right. And I just appreciate you. And I'm so excited for this new endeavor that you're launching. And you're not launching something that is new to you, because
Right.
this is what you do. This is your heartbeat. This
Yes.
is what you do. This is what you breathe,
Mhm.
right? But
Yes.
so this isn't your first program, but this is the latest program
Yes.
that
Yes.
everybody can plug into. I'm going to give you the last shout out here. Is there anything else that you didn't get to share that's on your heart that you want to make sure you communicate? I want you to share that now, and then tell the folks how they reach out to you.
I am a woman of a certain age, and I would say to anyone, you're not too old, you're not too young to pursue your dreams. Go after it. You know, I have more years behind me than I have ahead of me. But what's ahead of me is amazing because my best is next. And God doesn't do, He didn't do his best in my yesterday. He will do his best in my tomorrow. So never give up. Never give up. And so I can be reached. I can be reached on my website at Sheila, Shelia, Eggleston, EGGLESTON.com. That's SheilaEggleston.com. I can be reached across all social media platforms with Sheila Eggleston as well.
Wow, this has been amazing, and that was so empowering. Empowering. You're never too old. You're never too whatever you think, whatever
Right.
that committee is trying to say to
Yes.
you. Oh no,
Mhm.
you are here with a purpose. And
Yes.
thank you so much, Sheila, for being here today. This has been so empowering. Sheila, thank you. You are such a blessing. And I know that your new mentorship program is going to be absolutely phenomenal, and you're going to help so many people. So reach out to her today. And thank you to everybody that has been listening or watching. I know that you have been like me, taking lots and lots of notes. Now, listen, this message, I said at the beginning, you needed to share it with somebody. But now that you've been through it and you've heard this episode, can you see why I told you to like it and share it? So do yourself a favor, do somebody else a favor, do Sheila a favor, do me a favor. Let's show the world that these
Mhm.
messages are so needed, and hit the share button right now. You could send it in an email to somebody, make it as simple. You can text it to people.
Mhm.
Who do you know that needs to hear this? Send it
Yes.
to them now. Thank you so much for being here today. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you. We would have a great time just sitting chatting, but we wouldn't be chatting and getting information out to the world if you weren't here to help us take it forward. Remember, you are here with a purpose, on purpose, by design, not by default. So go out there and be the salt and the light everywhere you go. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.